Black Scout Survival. Maybe some of you guys have heard about it. A lot of leftist news organizations are talking about it. They're trying to use this, obviously, to try to push this new law I'm going to talk about. This kid, Justin Mon, a Pennsylvania man, 32 years old, he actually killed his father, Michael, at their home on Monday evening. The father was 68-year-old federal government employee. I think he worked for the Postal Service. I could be wrong, but basically he had a YouTube channel, and he's going off about the government, and then he shows the decapitated head of his father. He was arrested a few hours later in Fort Indian Town, about 100 miles away from his home. So in the video set up for like 4 or 5 hours, some of you guys probably have seen it or saw some like blurred out visions of it. I'm going to show you real quick what CNN is trying to push here, and see who they're blaming. See if you can pick up on it.
Extremely concerning, I think, as do most security officials, as we go into what will be an incredibly heated political season. You know, obviously this guy, we don't know. We're waiting on additional facts from the investigation to understand his specific motives. You can make some assumptions based on his claims in the video that he's been motivated by politics. But, you know, I think that the bigger picture here is that this is another example of the fact that the kind of overheated, deeply politicized, extreme rhetoric that you hear sometimes in this country from politically elected officials and leaders actually has an impact on these.
So they're trying to blame probably Donald Trump, the rest of the Republicans. That's what they're trying to do. Here's a shot of his YouTube channel here. Look at how weird this dude is. Justin Stalkers. Someone is following me. Music album cover. So I'm going to show some of his postings here. Very, very strange guy. So here we go. There's not even such thing as America anymore. There's a civil war between Justin Mon and his followers versus the cult, America. Is secretly focusing or revolving around me, such as the cult is trying to hide me and kill me when empowering the cult and using the media as a distraction. So this dude has some kind of like idea that he is that important that people are going after him. Nobody thinks it's odd that I'm suing one of the biggest companies in America due to the devout cult belief that I am the second coming king of earth. I mean, Mayor Suthers and Governor Hickenlooper are literally about to go to jail for the rest of their lives after I sue them for everything they own due to allegiance to the cult. Who thinks I'm God? He's saying these people in his cult thinks he's God. And this would be a civil suit, not criminal, so they wouldn't go to jail. Even if he wanted. He says, even my own family upholds the cult belief. And I'm guessing he's talking about his father and is willing to go to jail to prove it. Donald Trump, if this does not get fixed ASAP, then you'll be in jail for the rest of your life after I sue you for everything you own. And that's not a threat. That's a promise, BITCH. And here's another one just to show how unhinged this is. He's talking about not eating meat for 7 years and then eating again. And then he goes on talking about condiments, talking about using mayo, barbecue sauce, and then he calls himself an artist there. So anyway, let me show you this right here. This is someone talking about him, and he says, for those who need a break from the madness and just want to enjoy some good old-fashioned cringe, meet Justin Mon. Justin graduated from Pennsylvania State University with a bachelor's in agribusiness management. Justin moved out to Colorado to work at an insurance company, Progressive. He would have a bad time in a new employee orientation, claiming his female coworkers graduated from this onboarding academy before him, and he was overqualified and overeducated for such a low position at the customer service representative. In response to being denied early graduation or a transfer to a real department like IT, he writes this to the HR department. I now expect to be put in a faster paced promotion than others and be placed in a fitting position as soon as possible rather than allowing the situation to escalate. Mon warned that if he was terminated or forced into constructive discharge, it will result in immediate legal actions and would include me using publishing capability to publicly reveal progressive violations to the core values as his civil rights or labor law violations. He also kicked the door at some point, resulting in pay leave of absence and investigating that led to his termination. I'm going to show his lawsuit in a second. He mentioned his publishing capability in this HR email. And so the guy went and looked at his book, and I went and took the link, and apparently they removed it. But I'm kind of going to talk about his lawsuit for a second. Okay, just to show you how unhinged this guy was. So here's his lawsuit: Justin Mon versus Progressive Insurance. And basically, he sued them because he got fired, and he got fired because he kicked the supervisor's door demanding to be transferred to other positions in a company despite the standard 1 year probation period. He got fired, then got unemployment, then got hired somewhere else. And the second place fired him when they found out he was suing this former employee. So that's the conspiracy that he cites for justification for revolution. So then I found this post here. This is an anonymous Reddit post, and this guy reported Justin Mon to the FBI 6 months ago. Oh, wow, okay. How come the FBI always knows about these guys, right? They always, isn't that odd? They always know about these guys. They always know about these guys months, years before they go and do something. And a man leading a militant group urging militias to assault federal courthouses and encouraging Americans to attack federal employees after beheading his father, who was a federal employee, just as Democrats are trying to push and outlaw armed citizen militias. Now, and you see this article here: Democrats bring bill to prohibit armed citizen militias. According to the lawmakers, this legislation clarifies these domestic extremist paramilitary operations in no way protected by our Constitution, which is false by the Supreme Court. Justin Mon video sparks anti-militia bill conspiracy theories. It's weird how these things always pop up, right? These conspiracy theories, they always use that, conspiracy theories, but it always pops up at a convenient time. You know, there's always something that happens that right on the same timeline as they're about to push a bill. So this bill we're talking about is HB 6981, and what it is to prevent private paramilitary activity. And they say it's in response to January 6th. Now, this is introduced on January 11th, and the main body of the bill seeks to prohibit private paramilitary organizations from publicly patrolling, drilling, or engaging in techniques capable of causing bodily injury or death. And I'm going to get to it down below, but it says 3 people. So if 3 buddies go to the range, few times a month or something like that, you maybe could be arrested. I mean, how far does this go? That's the question. How far does this go? So causing bodily injury is shooting. I mean, it could even go to MMA. Who knows? You know, you might be doing jiu-jitsu in your garage. I mean, how far does this thing go? Because you're a conservative and you're doing jiu-jitsu in your garage with 3 other guys. It says interfere with or intimidate another person in the exercise of any right of the Constitution of the United States. So that could be protesting, peaceful. You could be peacefully protesting. And because you're protesting another group, you could be trying to intimidate their exercise right under the Constitution. Now, you saw during 2020 a lot of anti-protesters with AR-15s go to like basically anti-protest, whatever the protest was. They would probably call that, and you would get charged, and you're looking at like a year, 5 years in prison for this thing. So essentially what it is doing is trying to tie hands of anyone on the patriot realm. So it says, assume the function of law enforcement officer, peace officer, or public official, whether or not acting under color of law, and thereby assert authority to assert authority over another person without the consent of that person. So again, anti-protesting, where you're acting under the law, you're abiding by the law, but they say that you're intimidating another person. So all you need is an anti-protest, say I'm intimidated, and then you're going to prison. Now, this is the big one. Trained to engage in any activity described above. So any type of training, shooting, stuff like that with 3 guys, you're in that, right? You go to the range with 3 buddies, you could be thrust into this. And again, it's important to note that the bill defines a paramilitary organization, a group of 3 or more persons associating under the command structure for the purpose of functioning in public or training. So any type of training. So this is what the senators that try to put the bill in place are saying. Private military organizations pose a threat not only to national security, but they also present a public safety problem that extends beyond any single state. For example, private paramilitary actors like Proud Boys and Oath Keepers traveled across state lines on January 6th. There are currently no federal laws that address paramilitary activity or protect millions of Americans whose rights are being threatened by the type of violent or anti-democratic intimidation. Now, Second Amendment. This goes completely against Second Amendment, because the Second Amendment says a well-regulated militia composed of the body of the people being the best security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, I told you the Supreme Court correctly noted in District of Columbia versus Heller in 2008 that the militia of the founding era was the body of ordinary citizens capable of taking up arms to defend the nation. Right? And when you take an oath, you say enemies, foreign and domestic. So when you're, military or whatever, when you're taking an oath of office, what have you, foreign and domestic. And so then when you're looking at what the founding fathers and the Supreme Court solidified this, the body of ordinary citizens capable of taking up arms to defend the nation. It's cut and dry. This bill should not even have been able to be put in place. It should not make it through. But who knows how we're going. So basically, it will eliminate you training, anti-protesting, or doing your own protests, because they'll say you're intimidating. They'll say truckers, the truckers protest, any sort of these protests will be paramilitary organization, put you in jail. But where does it stop? Because what I believe is it'll go down the list. It'll be any type of firearms training. It'll be military equipment. It'll be next. Oh, you can't have plate carriers. You can't have any military equipment. You can't have helmets. You can't have night vision. You can't have these sort of things. That's what I believe. Can't have gas mask, what have you. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to see coming soon. So I do have a great deal for you. Speaking of gas mask, 25% off gas mask, but that ain't the deal. This is the MB100, designed with 2 lenses here. It's perfect for night vision goggles, right? And good for shooting because the separated, but perfect for night vision goggles. If you have night vision goggles, you want a separated lens like this instead of a full lens. But they have this. This is the MB100, and if you buy 5 NB1 canisters, you're going to receive an NB100 mask for free. 5 canisters, you get this mask for free, and then you can also use my 25% off code, black_scout. So get it while you can, because they're probably going to make it illegal, right? And why wouldn't they? Why would they want to allow us to be prepared for anything? The ultimate goal is the complete dependence on the government. The ultimate goal is the fact that we will be stripped of all of our rights, and you're not going to be able to make any decision. You have to ask the government to be able to do anything, right? They're doing that for medications, supplements, you name it. I mean, they're even trying to make Zen. Chuck Schumer's put in a bill against Zen because it's a right-wing thing. It's crazy. We live in another world. But anyhow, guys, let me know your thoughts on this, and make sure you go get you a gas mask, MB100 tactical mask. I think the photo I have here is me wearing it. So you see that. Anyhow, guys, grab you 5 canisters, get it free. Use my code BlackScout_25. And guys, remember to stay frosty, stay strapped, and always stay dangerous. Take care.